Hello guys, in this session, let's learn something about blockage layers. As the name suggests, usage of blockage and exclude layers. We may have come across this terminology, or used blockage layers in your layout work, and some of them may have come across exclude layers as well. So as you can see in the picture over here, you've got metal blockages, you've got wire blockages, there's poly, there's N-well, there's lots of varieties of blockage layers. So let's try and understand what is the importance of this blockage layer, okay, and its usage. So along with that, we will also see where do we use this, okay? What are all the scenarios in which we use these things, right? We'll try to learn that as well with some examples and what's the importance of doing, using the your blockage layers while you're doing the layout. Okay. And we'll also study what's the importance of using exclude layers. Generally, if the term blockage and exclude, it sounds a little confusing. Probably it means the same, right? But then it's not the case. Okay, blockage is used for one purpose, and exclude layer, it has its own usage. Okay, let's learn that. And finally, we'll try to compare when and how, what's the difference between these things. Okay, so let's jump into my paint over here. Let's take a simple example here. Okay, uh, I would say LEF. How many of you have heard the term LEF? LEF stands for Library Exchange Format. Okay, so now let's assume that this is your block. I'm trying to explain the case number one over here. Okay, so this is your bigger module, or you can call it as a bigger IP or a chip level, and this is the module what you're working. Okay, so your layout lead or your layout head will give you saying that you should be completing your module within this region. Okay, and all the other tasks have been assigned to other team members over here. Now this is your block. Okay, so once this is done, so your layout guy lead will tell you, can you make a left? Okay, which means he gives you a approximate PR boundary and tells you that create a left over here, wherein you'll be mentioning the pin input outputs. Okay, so what does a left contain? Left contains the information about, firstly, it contains a PR boundary, okay, and then it has pins, okay, the pins which are going to the left, the pins which are going to the top, right, bottom, and then the type of metal, okay, probably there could be some important signal over here, right, which might be a bigger one, okay, a very important signal, so that you might want to keep it wider. There could be other signals which are of minimum width. There could be some signals which are going at the bottom side. So all of this information will be mentioned in your left. Now, along with this, when you are delivering a left to a PD guy or a top level integration guy, you will also add something called as the blockage layers. Okay. Now these layers over here try to block the other layers from being drawn over here in this region. Okay, so you have lots of blockage layers. It starts from the base level layers. You've got RX, that is your diffusion. There's RX blockage layer. There is via blockage layer. There is uh, poly blockage layer. Lots of blockage layers, base level, and then the metal layers. So how do you decide how many blockage layers you have to use over here? Is now say your lead tells you you should finish your module in the maximum by using 7 metals. So you will be using all the base level blockages, which means what? Your 7 and 6 will be your power mesh for power connections, and all the other lower level metals will be used for signal routing and all the other local routing stuff. Okay, and then when you are delivering a left, you'll be using a maximum of 7 metals, and along with that, you'll be adding blockage till metal 7. So when I've added blockage till metal 7 over here, right, which means what? The other modules or any other top level routing nets, you cannot route anything 7 or below 7 beyond this or through and through like this. It blocks. So this will be treated like a black box. Okay, so whatever the conditions you've got, you may have, you may route higher level power pins, power lines from 7, 8, 7 will be blocked, 8, 9 and 10 you can route over it, but you cannot go less than 7. This is done. Firstly, I'm talking only from the perspective of creating a boundary here for a specific module. Okay, so from left creation point of view, this is how the blockage helps you. This particular module will be treated like a black box, and whatever the routing, design, everything, now it becomes your responsibility that when you are delivering this module, it should be completely clean. When I say completely clean, it means DRC clean, LVS clean, ERC clean, your EMIR clean, density and antenna, and any other, physical verification checks which your company asks. So this will be a completely clean block with maximum blockage of 7, and you'll be handing it over. So this adding of blockage layers over here will avoid routing of the lower level layers. Okay, so which means you have blocked this particular thing. So here, this is one simple example of using a blockage layer when you are giving a left. Okay, so now case 2. Let me just clean this up. Okay. Now you have got a module and assume that there is some sensitive portion of your circuit. So your designer says don't route anything over it. So add some blockage layers over it. Okay, so add a particular blockage layer over it. Which means what? This is certain sensitive portion of your design. Okay, now I'm within this design. Okay, some sensitive portion of your design, your designer says protect this, add such and such blockage layer, so that when you do the density fill, nothing will be filled in that particular region, depending on the number of metals, depending on the kind of blockages you add in this region over here. Okay, why? Because this will be a sensitive. It's used for noise isolation. It is used for analog sensitive designs and all of that. Okay, so this is one of the other reasons, for that you will add a local blockage layer. Now, again, there could be another scenario here that you will be having two modules here. Okay, and you want to take a very important signal here. Okay, from point A to point B. And this is a very important signal. Your designer says, okay, protect this signal, and the resistance of this particular signal has to be very low. The cap also should be very less. In that case, what you would do, let's assume that you have drawn a net in metal 4. Okay, so now what you would do is you will add a blockage layer around this particular important net. Okay, you will do your resistance calculations and all of that, decide on the width, whatever the current rating, blah blah, and draw a net. So now to protect this signal, what we would do is we will not route anything two metals below this. Let me pick up the net here. Okay, two metals below this, which means if this is 4, I'll not be drawing anything like 3 and 2 beneath this, and 5 and 6 above this. Okay, so what I would do is I would route a net, metal 4. Okay, it could be a shielding net or it could be some other important net as well. Okay, so here I will be routing, I'll not be routing anything like metal 3 and metal 2 beneath this and above this as well. And I will be adding a particular, I'll be adding all the blockage layers around it. This is again another scenario here. Okay, wherein we are adding a blockage layer. We are trying to protect this particular signal. Okay, so these are one or two or three couple of examples over here. So where exactly are we using these things? Okay, so let me just pick it up for you. Okay, so here we have got, okay, in real time, if I have to say, right, if at all these particular modules are there, okay, we have got ADC, okay, and in here, wherever you've got sensitive modules, you will be adding certain blockages either on the whole module or on sensitive regions, or even in the PLL. Sometimes we use something called as a keep out zone as well. Okay, it's like band gap. I'm talking about analog modules here. Okay, SRAM you've got, IO ring. Okay, there could be certain scenarios wherein you may have come across while drawing an inductor, right? While drawing an inductor, generally we use a P cell, okay, around it, And when we are doing a fill around the inductor, we try to add blockages and ensure that almost around 100 microns around the inductor, we will not be adding any metal around it. That's the design requirement over there, else it would interrupt the functioning of your inductor. Okay, so we are trying to block here. We are trying to block here. We are trying to create something called as a keep out zone. Okay, we are not routing anything within this region. Neither we are allowing any kind of fill to happen within this region. Same thing happens with the inductors and band gap yes, sensitive modules, and say memory modules. Okay, let's talk about uh, how do we use blockages in your memory designs. Okay, so I've given you 2 or 3 examples there. So say for example you have created a memory array is over here, and your PR boundary, you just slightly extend the PR boundary and tend to add blockages around it, and you will do some kind of a dummy fill around it because your memory bit cells are very sensitive and you don't want any kind of parasitics to impact this. Okay, so you'll be using a kind of a keep out zone. When you're adding a blockage, you're blocking something, and that's the reason you call it as a keep out zone, this guy here. Okay. So likewise, if at all you are, say another example, this you can call it as your memory. The other kind of example would be uh, dealing with your VCO. Okay. So let's talk VCO here. So assuming we are dealing with a LC tank VCO here. So you will have your inductor here. Around that, as we saw, you'll be adding blockages so that nothing over the inductor should have any kind of fill to it. So below that you will be arranging your capacitors here. Okay, so generally your capacitors are somewhere of the metals, say 8 to 6. Okay, say assume that this is metal 8 to metal 6, all of these capacitors. Okay, metal 8 to metal 6. So generally, like in the previous example, when we saw dealing with, trying to protect a very important signal or shielding a particular signal, likewise, on the same lines, if this capacitors are made of metal capacitors, are made of metal M8 and M6, what is required over here is you need to add certain blockage so that you will not, impact the capacitance of this particular thing. Okay, so what we do is, like, based on the similar principle here, so if this is M8 and M6, say M8, M7 and M6, this is a capacitor. So what we tend to do is we will not route anything or try to fill anything above this. Say for example, on the top, if I have to say M9, M10, okay, below M4 and M3. So we will be adding all of these blockages in this region here. Why? Because we don't want to add extra cap to these LC tank VCOs. Okay, that's one of the main reasons. So you might ask me, if we end up adding blockages, how are you going to fix the density issue here? You might run into, minimum density issue for all these metals from M3 to M4. So the workaround for that is we end up doing manual fill in this region. We don't leave it to the tool. Okay, we don't leave it to the tool to do it. So yes, I mean that's the trade-off. That's how you got to deal with it. That's the trade-off what you'll be doing it. So you will be doing manual fill for metal 3 to metal 10 in this region alone. Rest everywhere, all around the design, you'll be doing your normal fill. Okay, these are some of 5 or 6 examples wherein we use blockage layers. Okay, now let's move to something called as the exclude layers. Okay, say like how you've got blockage layer, we've got something called as exclude layer. Say this is your design, you've got certain module in it, and you want to exclude a particular module altogether. Okay, then we end up adding a exclude layer to it. Okay, this exclude layer over here is it does not block. Okay, it does not, it's kind of a logical masking what you're trying to do here. Okay, it does not stop routing like how you're doing. Let's assume that I've drawn a blockage layer here. Let me explain in a correlative way. Okay, this blue one is your blockage layer. This magenta one is your exclude layer. Okay, so if I have to say your blockage layer here, the one in the blue, let me write it here: blockage and exclude. Okay, so your blockage layer will not allow any kind of routing. It's a kind of physical restriction what it is providing for the layout. Okay, same thing, whereas the exclude layer, it's kind of a logical masking. It does not stop routing. You can route over it. Okay, now generally this particular layer is used during parasitic extraction. So if you want to exclude a particular module altogether and then run a parasitic extraction for some kind of a specific analysis, that's where we go for exclude layers. Okay, that's the main difference between using an exclude layer and a blockage layer. Okay? So if I have to compare both, say blockage layer, for example, and exclude layer, your blockage layer will give you physical restrictions. You cannot route anything depending on how many layers of blockage layers you have used. But say, for example, if metal 8 is used, you can route metal 9 and 10 above it, but nothing below metal 8 and from metal 8 and below. Okay. Whereas exclude layer over here is logical masking. Okay, you don't want to consider this particular module at all for a particular analysis, for a particular kind of extension. That's where you use a specific exclude layer. This stops routing. This does not stop routing. Your PNR module, you can route over it. Okay, because there's no blockages over here. It is just telling exclude, but routing can very well happen. Now, this blockage layers are generally used by layout engineers or PD guys. Okay, to block or trying to convey the information that, okay, don't route anything in this region. Whereas exclude layer is used to convey a message to the tool. This is used by the engineer, layout engineers or the PD engineers. Now this is used to convey a message to the tool that don't consider this particular module. Okay. Reason being, this is mainly done protect a particular section of your design. You are protecting certain analog portion, certain kind of a design, certain kind of a signal over here. Whereas this is done to optimize the analysis. For some kind of analysis, if at all you want to optimize, you want to remove certain portion and consider only a specific portion for a specific kind of analysis, that's where we go for the usage of exclude layers. Okay, so that's all about your exclude layers and blockage layers. It's all about trying to use the layers wisely, and depending on your need, depending on your design requirements, you will be using this particular layers. So that's about your blockage and exclude layers. Thank you.